वेपतुश्च शरीरे मे रोमहर्षस्य जायते गाण्डीवं शंसते हस्ताय वक्षैव परिधायते वेपतुः trembling of the body cha also sarire on the body me my romaharsha standing of hair on end cha also jayate in taking place is taking place gandivam the bow of Arjuna shamsate is slipping a star from the hand twak skin cha also eva certainly paridhayate is burning. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Please repeat. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. Purport. There are two kinds of trembling of the body. The two kinds of standing of hair on end. Such phenomena occur either in great spiritual ecstasy or out of great fear under material conditions. There is no fear in transcendental realization. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. This is evident from other symptoms also. He became so impatient that his famous bow Gandiva was slipping from his hands, and because his heart was burning within him, he was feeling a burning sensation of the skin. All these are due to a material conception of life. So let's read the translation again. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. This is in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna says, "O Achyuta, Krishna, please bring my chariot, Ratha Stapyat me Achyuta, bring to the middle of the battlefield. I want to see who is present here." So obviously he knows his relatives are present. So why he want to see again, right? Because in Arjuna's heart there was a burning sensation, burning feeling that how am I going to kill my relatives, right? So in the entire first chapter, Arjuna actually gives 4 different reasons why he should not fight. Actually, the 5, but 4, mainly 4. 4 reasons he gave to Krishna. I don't want to fight. Number 1, as you go on, you'll see he was compassionate. Being a devotee of the Lord, Vaishnava, they are very forgiving. You know, there are many people we meet in our office also, or even in school for students. Let's say you have some fight with them, they will never forgive you. They have this saying, you know, forgive, but what is that? Don't forget. Forgive and forget. Huh? So some people they never forgive and they never forget also. Many people actually. But Arjuna is not like that. He being a pure devotee, even though so many calamities happened to his family from a young age, you know, they what is that? Vipuda pada shastra tatra tatra jagat guru bhavatam darshano yatsad apunar bhava darshanam. What is that? 1:8. Oh, sorry, 1:8. Before that, right? You'll tell about whatever happens. Vishan Mahagne, yes. Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanat Asat Sabaya Vanavasa Krichyataha Mride Mride Neka Maharatavashuto Daruni Atrasta Chashma Harer Birakshita. So this is spoken by Kunti Devi. He's saying, Vishan Mahagne, oh Krishna, you protected my family from a great fire. You know, the house of lac they created, Duryodhana, just to burn all the Pandavas. Right? So very envious, Duryodhana and party. And then Purushada Darshana, while in the forest, while the Pandavas were running away in the forest, they had to fight with so many Rakshasas, like Hidamba, man-eaters, Hidamba, Hidambi. Of course, Bhima defeated them, Bakasura, right? So Asad Sabaya, in the arena of the Kauravas, the gambling arena, such an unfair thing they did. And they tried to disrobe even Draupadi, naked. No regard for any women protection. And Vanavasa Krichata, even in Vanavasa, they were trying to do so many things. Like they were sending Durvasa Muni to eat from the Pandavas. Luckily, they had the Akshay Patra, Krishna gave and helped them. Then Mride Neka Maharata, and again in the battlefield, so many Maharathis were fighting with Arjuna. And we know Arjuna is a great fighter. But who was he fighting with? Karna, Bhishma, Dronacharya. He's actually like a small fish with all these big sharks. Yeah, and then Daruni Astras. So after the war was finished, Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, was so angry that the Kauravas lost. He shoots Brahmastra into the womb of Uttara, Abhimanyu's, Arjuna's grandson. Parikshit is in the womb, and he's trying to kill the child in the womb with the Brahmastra. Right? Those days, the Brahmastra is very powerful. Like now, if you shoot a nuclear bomb, it's going to explode and destroy an entire city. But those days, they can even shoot a nuclear bomb into a specific person. Right? That much science they had. And they're saying that we have no science. Even in when Ramayana, there's this crow. What is the crow's name? Indra's son. Jayanta. Jayanta came and attacked Sita. Rama was sleeping and Jayanta was attacking her breast. And Indra's son, very mischievous. And she was bleeding. And she did not want to wake up Ram. But Rama woke up and he saw this crow flying. Immediately with a blade of grass, he can make the blade of grass into a Brahmastra weapon, and he threw it. He threw at that crow. And the crow went everywhere asking for help. Nobody can help him. Even Indra, the father, said, I cannot help you. Finally, he fell. He fell on the feet of Rama. And the way he fell was opposite. When you fall on somebody's feet, you put your head, right? His feet touched Rama's feet. That's how he fell. And you know what Sita did? She carried him and put his head on the feet. Even though she was being attacked by the crow. How merciful. Rama is very merciful. How more merciful is Sita? Similarly, Krishna is very merciful. But if you take shelter of Radharani, he is even more merciful. Even if Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, you surrender unto me. But here you can see the crow never surrendered. Of course, he came to surrender unto Ram. But Sita, you see how she helped. So anyway, now back to the point. This Ashwatthama, he shoots Brahmastra to kill Parikshit Maharaj in the womb, and Krishna protects. Tashma Hare bi Rakshita. Rakshita means protection. So like that, Krishna was protecting the Pandavas at every step. And despite going through so much of calamities in life, so much of danger for their family, up to the point of death, Arjuna is compassionate to forgive his enemies. How much great devotee he must have. The magnitude of his compassion, right? Can you imagine? Sometimes when some mosquito bites us also, we cannot forgive. We have to kill it. Right? But such a devotee, he doesn't even want to kill all these aggressors. So number one reason, Arjuna was compassionate. That's why he don't want to kill. He don't want to fight. Number two, he actually, what is number two? Loss of enjoyment. Yeah. So this is the main point today. We are going to talk about this point. Arjuna is thinking, if now I kill them, then who am I going to show off this wealth? Why we have big car, big bungalow, right? Because we want to show off to our family. See this guy, how nice house he has. Look at his son studying in high Oxford, Cambridge, right? All these things are how we are attached to these material things, and we want to show them off. So number one. Number two is enjoyment. He said, why should I kill them? What's the point of this kingdom and everything when they are not there? Right? Despite doing all these things, he's saying like that. Number three, he was fearing sinful life. because he thought when I kill them, then I'm committing sin. Actually, he's not committing sin, because somebody like that who comes to burn your house, who tries to kidnap your wife, who tries to steal your property, in Shastra it says you can kill. There are 6 kinds of people. One who gives poison. They gave poison, right? Put in the cake, poison cake. They try to burn them, try to extract the wealth, everything. So he's not committing sin, but he thinks that he's going to commit sin. And the last reason Arjuna said, I don't want to kill them because, because he's thinking that if now everybody dies, then there is no elders in the family. There's no men to protect the women, right? And the women have no protection. There will be unwanted children. Okay, so the family tradition will be stopped. When there's no family tradition, there's nobody doing the pinda puja for the forefathers. Then the forefathers will suffer. There will be adharma. So these 4 reasons Arjuna gave. Okay. So now today we want to see this reason. We go back to the words. He's seeing all these things and he's trembling in fear. Such a warrior that even Lord Shiva praised. Lord Shiva says, Lord Shiva, he had a battle with Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva blessed him and gave him weapons also. He said, what a great warrior you are. Do you think Arjuna have fear? Right? Is there any fear? Why is there fear? If now Arjuna's job is what? To cut, right? He's expert in cutting. He's cutting down bodies. His name is Savya Sachin. Savya Sachin means both hands. Both hands he can fight. In the Swayamvara of Draupadi, everybody tried to string the bow. Even Karna, actually, in the drama, you see Draupadi doesn't let Karna do it. But actually, in the real Mahabharata text, Karna actually was given a chance to do. He almost stringed it, but the string could not. Just very close. He couldn't even string it. But Arjuna stringed it, aimed it. You have to look at the reflection below. The fish is turning. The fish is there. And then he switched his hand. Within a second, he hold it and switched his hand and he shoot. Such an expert archer, warrior. So, and he is telling, I cannot fight. Why? If these people opposite whoever is fighting, if they are not his relatives, if they are real enemies, normal people, you think Arjuna will have a problem? The point is, they are the relatives. Now imagine you're an expert cook. There are so many Matajis very expert in cooking. Imagine one day one of the Matajis, let's say Kishori Mataji, she goes to the kitchen and she says, I'm very scared to cut the potato. I'm trembling in fear. My knife is slipping from my hand. I cannot hold the chopping board. Does it make sense? You are expert in cooking. You're supposed to cut the potato and you're a chef, right? If the chef says, I cannot cut the potato, then something is really wrong, right? So similarly, Arjuna is a Kshatriya here. And he's saying, I cannot hold my bow. And what is this Gandiva bow, It's given by Agni. Arjuna, Agni was asking Arjuna and Krishna for help. Because for so many years, there was a yajna being done by a king. The king was giving so much of ghee for 12 years. And Agni was eating that ghee until he is so much indigestion. And then he asked Lord Shiva for help, what I should do. And Lord Shiva says, you go and burn the Pandava forest. This is near Indraprastha. And then he goes to burn. Every time he tries to burn, Indra will shower rain. Why? Because Indra friend, the demon, Takshaka is inside. The snake. The same Takshaka which burned Parikshit Maharaj. He's in the forest. So Indra, don't let him die. So Agni was suffering. So Shiva also told him, don't worry, Krishna and Arjuna will help you. So one day Arjuna and Krishna came. Agni said, please, I need your help. I need to burn this forest. But they are always, Indra is showering rain. I need to stop this. Then Arjuna said, how will I fight with my father Indra? They are coming from the air, all these devatas. I need a chariot which can fly. I need an arrow and bow, which is unlimited. That's when he was given the Gandiva. And in that battle with Indra and all the devatas, Krishna and Arjuna are defeated. What a warrior Arjuna is. Even the devatas could not stand by him when Krishna was there. And now he's telling, my Gandiva is falling from my hand. Because he is attached to the relatives. He's attached to the family. So in the purport, you see here, now we're going to talk about this point. Arjuna's symptoms in this situation are out of material fear, namely loss of life. So The greatest fear everyone has is the fear of what? Death. Why? So there's four things everyone does: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Right? We eat, we sleep. Animals also do. We also do. Ahara nidra bhayam maitunam cha. You see the word bhaya? Ahara, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya. Bhaya means fear, but defending, defense. And bhaya maituna means mating. So I want to ask you a question. Among these four, which is the most fearful to do? Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Which of these four is the most difficult or most fearful in our lives to do? What do you think? Is it eating? Is it sleeping? Is it defending? Why defending? The answer is defending. Because we want to defend against death. Nobody wants to die. We are faced with death every single. So death is the culmination of all fears. So everybody has different fears. Oh, when I will lose my job, when I might lose my relationship, when I might lose my business, when I might lose my wealth, right? But death is a culmination of all this fear. Everything. When you die, your relationships are finished, right? Your wealth is finished. Your occupation is finished, correct? So all this designation that we have to our existence is taken away at the time of death. Which is why among these four, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, defense is the most fearful. We're always fearing. Even you see the sparrow which is eating the rice, he's fearing. You give him some rice, he's looking left, right. He's eating, he's looking left, right. He's fearing who will attack him, right? So Arjuna is having this fear. Now, why is this fear? If I kill my family, I'm also killed. Why? Do you know why? If my family is dead, I'm also dead. He's alive, but he's still alive, right? But he thinks he's dead. Why? Because now let's say I'm a father or I'm a mother. I am a mother because I have a child. Let's say I have two children, right? But when my child is taken away from me, my motherhood is lost, right? When my child is taken away from me, my fatherhood is lost. When we lose something, the relationship is no more. Correct? Similarly, Arjuna is thinking, now if I fight my grandfather Bhishma Dev and kill him, I am no more a grandson. You understand? If I fight my guru Drona and he is no more, I am no more a disciple. If I fight all my cousins, I am no more a brother. So he thinks that killing them is equivalent to killing himself. Correct? Sometimes you see people in very abusive relationships and we tell them, why are you suffering with this guy? Better you leave, But they don't leave because they are fear of losing the status of being a girlfriend or wife is more, or husband is more important than suffering in the relationship, right? This is the fear everyone has, and this fear is existing because we think that I am this body. So this is the problem Arjuna is having. He thinks I am this body, I am this Pandava, these are my cousins, the Kauravas. We are all one happy family. So that's why death is so fearful, because all this designation that we are collecting throughout our lives is taken away. Now when we talk to someone, hello, Hare Krishna, how are you? What's your name? My name is so and so. Immediately the second line will be, I am working as such so and so. I'm an engineer. I'm an IT. Why we always talk about our occupation? Because that occupation has become so ingrained with our current identity. See? So we actually are spirit soul, Atma. We don't have this false identity with the material world. And we are collecting upadhi. This is called upadhi. So many material designation we are collecting and think this is me. I am this. I am an Indian. Right? I am IT staff. I am a father of two children. Right? I am a brother of five siblings. Like that, we are attached to all these things, and we are trying our best not to lose it. And that's why we are constantly in fear. That is why Krishna says in this sloka, Bhayam Dvitiya Vineshatasyat. 11 point. This is a very nice verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Why fear is coming? Ayam dvitiya abhineshtasya ishat apetsya vipareyo smriti tanmaya yato bhutta abhajyetam bhaktyakesham guru devatatma. So you can see here bhayam, we'll read the translation first. Fear arises when the living entity misidentifies himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusory energy of the Lord. When the living entity does turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as the servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord, under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and his life, very life and soul. Right? So you see here the Sanskrit, Bhayam Dvitiya. Dvitiya means something seeming other than the Lord. So there's two things here. One is the Lord. Two things. One is the Lord, and one is things which are not related to the Lord, which is Maya. Because you have become abhineshasataha, because you have become absorbed in the asat, the non-eternal. You're not attached to the sat. You're not attached to the eternal. You're attached to the something which will deteriorate, which will decay, which will die. Right? The material body goes through 6 changes. Right? It takes birth. It develops, it grows. It produces some offsprings. It decays. It deteriorates, and finally it dies. So when you're attached to a platform which is not stable, which is not permanent, how can you find happiness? Obviously, you'll be in fear, right? Fear will always be there, right? Even if you're a billionaire, do you think you're not fearful? Fear is there because you are thinking, when I will lose the wealth, right? So the solution is we must be attached to the ultimate self, with the higher self, which is Krishna, Paramatma. Then, see, there are 5 things they are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. What are the 5 things? Number 1, Purusha. Purusha means the Supreme Lord Krishna. Jiva, that is us. Then there is Prakriti, which is nature. There is Kala, time. And Karma, the actions, activities. These 5 things are spoken in the Bhagavad Gita. Of these 5 things, 3 things are always, we have no control. We have no control of time. Time always is always moving forward. You cannot even get a time. 1 second pass, you cannot get it back, right? We cannot control time. We cannot control nature, Prakriti. Example, if you're going to drink a lot of water, nature's call come, you have to run to toilet. You cannot say, I have no time to go toilet. So I was saying, you can tell to devotees, I got no time to come and see Krishna. But Krishna's servant nature, you cannot say no, right? If you cannot say no to nature, then how about his nature's boss? Why are you saying no to him? Right? So nature always changes. We're seeing always nature is changing. So many things have changed throughout the history, right? And then karma, actions. So much of karma we have done in so many lifetimes. We cannot even clear it. So the jiva, he is eternal. The Purusha is eternal. Krishna and the Jivatma, they are eternal. They are always existing. But now the jiva is entrapped with this kala, karma, and time. Prakriti, material nature. He is trying to manipulate material nature. He cannot succeed. But one day when he comes to understanding about the Bhagavad Gita, and he realized that I am unchanged. I'm trying to find happiness in something that changes. I should find happiness in the Purusha, Krishna. This relationship between me and Purusha, Krishna never changes. When he understands this, he is able to survive in this changing world. So this is a very difficult thing to do, change. Nobody likes to change. Everybody wants a permanent situation. Just like you all are from India. You don't want to keep changing job here, right? You want a permanent house here, right? Nobody wants to keep changing home. It's very stressful to move houses, right? So this world is always changing, and you will be always in fear and stress unless you know that you are unchanged, unless you know that you are part and parcel of Krishna and nothing changes between me and him. If you can understand that and apply that in your life, yam labdva chaparam labam manyate nadikam tata, yasmin stito na dukkena guru na apicha vichalita. You're never shaken in any difficulty. If you come to the platform of unchanged, there is no more fear. If you know that I am not the body, I am the spirit soul, there's no fear. Of course, you cannot just theoretically say, yeah, I'm Atma, and then suddenly something happens to the body, you got so much in tension. So this is a practical thing we have to learn. That's why the Bhagavad Gita is there. We are teaching. Krishna is teaching. Prabhupada is teaching. If we learn how to associate with the devotees and learn this knowledge, then we will come to the platform of unchanged. Then whatever change I may go in life, even though I may lose everything, right? By time, I can lose everything, but I'm not shaken. So here you might wonder, how come Arjuna is shaken? Actually, Arjuna is not shaken. He is just doing this for us. If Arjuna was not shaken, Krishna has no reason to speak the Bhagavad Gita, right? So Krishna is helping Arjuna to come from no fear, so from fear to no fear, from changing situation to unchanging. So Krishna is saying, these are your relatives. No, these are not your relatives. This body, you're just thinking in terms of I and mind, the body. Body will finish. Even if you don't kill them today, tomorrow they will die. So why are you attached to the situation which always changes? Understand the eternal principle, the Atma, the soul, and do your duty and fight. Krishna speaks 700 verses just to convince Arjuna about this point. So that is why we have this thing called yoga. Yoga means, so now we spoke about the unchanging principle, which is the Purusha and the Jiva. How the Jiva connects with the Purusha is yoga. Yoga does not mean just sitting down and doing some body asanas. That is just very minute part of it. Yoga means to connect. And the best way to connect, Bhaktya mam abhijanati, Krishna says the best way to connect with me is through bhakti. So he actually, if you read the Gita, he emphasized a lot on bhakti. And when that connection comes, you are very stable. Okay. So now, let's go back to the verse again. Arjuna is mainly he's fearing death. The fear of death. Because he has misidentified so many things with the body. Like example, he's fearing his loss of relationship with Dronacharya, right? Actually, if you look at the Mahabharata, Dronacharya was not so keen to teach Arjuna in the beginning. He wanted to teach his son. Dronacharya had that favoritism. So, and of course, you see, knowledge should be taught to somebody who is qualified. And Ashwatthama is not qualified. He had the knowledge of Brahmastra and he used it to kill a child in the womb. That's not Kshatriya. Kshatriya are very honorable, dignified. They won't do such things. So anyway, in the beginning when Arjuna was a child and he was learning from Dronacharya, what he used to do, he used to get the boys, all the boys who were learning the Kauravas, even the Yadus all came and learned from him. So many people came to learn from him. So he gave everybody a pot. Every morning you had to go and fetch water. And when you go to fetch the water, everybody's pot is very small, the hole. Only Ashwatthama's pot hole is very big. Because Ashwatthama will come back faster than the rest. It takes time to fill up the water, right? So when Ashwatthama comes back faster, Dronacharya will tell him all the secrets. And then Arjuna understood, I cannot lose out here. So Arjuna had he's very skillful, right? He used the arrow, he shoot the pot. The pot hole is small, right? He make it bigger without even destroying the pot. How expert is that? How difficult is that, So Arjuna was coming same time with Ashwatthama. Then Dronacharya was saying, oh, this guy, I cannot avoid him. I have to teach him only. Then after that, Dronacharya told one more thing to the cook. Don't feed Arjuna at the night time. Don't give him dinner. I said, why? So you know why? I'll tell the story. So Arjuna, one day, so the cook was not giving food to Arjuna at night. Everybody is eating. Only this guy not getting. So one day what happened? It was still bright. So the cook thought, okay, still early, let's give him the food. So he gave him the food. Suddenly it became dark. And then there's no light. The lamp also went off. Then Arjuna was eating. He could not see his hands. And he's thinking how to eat without in the darkness. But somehow he could still eat, And then Arjuna understood, if I can eat in the dark, then I can shoot arrow in the dark. And then from that day on, he never sleep. He was shooting arrows at night. That is why his name is called Gudakesha, one who has conquered sleep. Then Dronacharya saw this. He said, oh, I tried to stop him from learning in the night. He's learning. Okay, now mind. Arjuna, I will tell you, I'll make you my best student. He knows they cannot stop him. So from that day on, Arjuna and Dronacharya, they are very attached. Teacher-student relationship. And when he saw the same teacher standing in front of him in the battlefield, he said, how can I kill my guru? Right? So this is the point, what Arjuna is teaching us. Again, we fear the loss of our relationship. Can be anything. Can be even job. Let's say I'm so attached to being a, what do you call that? IT stuff, whatever. One day it's taken away from me. Don't I feel distress? When something is taken away from me, don't I feel stress? What has happened? Oh my God. But do we have Krishna-like person to help us? Yes, but Krishna has spoken the Bhagavad Gita to help us to deal with all these things. To deal with these ever-changing situations. And also something about job. See, job, we are so attached to the job. I'm, like I said, no, I'm so and so, I'm so and so. Even when the child is growing up, we have children, no? You know what we will tell the child? Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? You want to be an engineer? You want to be a doctor? So we already are so attached to something which is not us. And then now we are trying to make the child also, okay, yes, the child will say, yeah, I want to be a pilot. Yeah, he thinks that the goal of life is to be a pilot. And then after the child grows up, going through 25 years of education, and then he starts working, you know what the child will say? It's better to be a child, I don't want to work like this, like as day and night. I was so happily playing as a child. Right? So this is the thing, that so much attachment to things that are not us. That is why we have bad karma. If you analyze this carefully, why do we have bad karma? Let's look at this. Bad karma is actually, in English, you say reaction, wrong reaction, right? Say, why am I facing wrong reactions in life? If you go back one step, because I have performed the wrong actions. Why did I perform the wrong actions? Because I had wrong decisions. Why did I have wrong decisions? Because I had the wrong desire. Why I had the wrong desire? Why have I had this wrong desire? That I should become a billionaire. And while becoming billionaire, I do all nonsense. Because I have wrong desires, because I have wrong thoughts. My thoughts are wrong. Why do I have wrong thoughts? Because I have wrong perception. Because I perceive myself as this body, everything that I do in life is going to be wrong. One mathematical error, the whole equation is wrong, right? So this perception of who we are has to be corrected first. If this correction is not there from birth, from childhood, we will grow out, we will do things which is not us, and we'll get into so many stress and fear day after day. We will think that I am this body, I need to enjoy, my senses have to be enjoyed. Now, Duryodhana, that's what he's doing, You know what happened in I'll give you a story now. What happened in the Mahabharata? Okay. When the Rajasuya sacrifice, the kingdom was split into two. Pandavas took the Indraprastha, Kauravas were in the Hastinapur, Delhi. So they had a big Rajasuya sacrifice. Yudhishthira wanted to be, he became the Chakravarti, the emperor of the world. And everybody acknowledged, yes, Yudhishthira, you are the king. Of course, Jarasandha was a problem. So Krishna went with Bhima and Arjuna and finished off Jarasandha, came back. And all the kings came, gave all the wealth. They acknowledged him as a king. They did a big Rajasuya sacrifice. And Kauravas also came. Duryodhana came. And when Duryodhana saw his cousins being so much glorified, all the kings were glorifying, became so burning with envy. Very envious to see them. And then while in the whole kingdom, the whole palace was built by Maya Danav. So just now we were talking about the forest, Khandava. Agni was building the forest. So Maya Danav came out. Maya Danav, the demon, who is the architect. Like in the demigods, we have Vishwakarma. The demon's architect is Maya Danav. So Mayadana was burning in the fire, and then he asked Arjuna for protection. Arjuna said, "I protect you, don't worry." So in return of that, Mayadana created the Indraprastha palace, and he was very, very magnificent. You see, something is like water suddenly becomes like land. Something like land becomes like water, and the Sabha, the Raja Sabha, so big. Now we are talking with the mic, right? I used to think, how come those days when they talk, there's no mic? How people can hear? So the Raja Sabha has this mystic power. When you talk from one place, you'll hear on the other side also. And if you enter into the Raja Sabha, you won't feel thirsty, you won't feel hungry, you don't grow old. So much mystic power. Subtle signs. We are all in the gross signs only. Those days they had subtle signs. So anyway, Duryodhana seeing this, he was burning in envy. How can my cousins? He was seeing Arjuna, what a great accomplished warrior. He was seeing Bhima, he was seeing Yudhishthira. So much envious. And then he was falling down in the water. He was looking at and he was walking in the palace. He saw this is land. He was walking and he fell inside. And everybody was laughing at him. Then he came back. He was just sitting down and thinking about this. And Shakuni came. So Shakuni actually he's a bad guy, yes. But actually, you can see in this conversation, he's not so bad also. Shakuni said, you saw the palace, you saw their treasury. Their treasury is filled with so many gold, so much of gold. All the kings have given homage to him. I don't think they will even come and respect you like that. No chance. Yeah, no chance you're going to fight with the Pandavas now. Look at the treasury. Look at the opulence. How glorified. Even Krishna is with them. Draupada is with them. Actually what happened after the Draupadi was won by Arjuna, the Kauravas with Karna actually came to fight with Draupada, and Draupada actually defeated them. Then they cannot even fight Draupada, then what about Pandavas? Huh? So they understood they cannot do anything. So Shakuni was putting more fire. Look at them, how great, how powerful, how glorious. Then Duryodhana said, can you stop it? Why you are putting more flame into this, adding more ghee into this fire? I cannot take it. I want to destroy them. Then he said, he said, why you should destroy them? Your father only gave the property, it belongs to them. He said, no, that is not their property, it's my property. He said, no, how you can say it's your property? So Shakuni says, how you can lust for another person's property? What doesn't belong to you, how you can lust for it? That is adharma, Shakuni says. Then Duryodhana says, I don't care. What I say is dharma. You see how he's so demoniac. You see how he's talking. You see this sloka? Srimad Bhagavatam 6.140. Veda pranito dharma yamatuta uchuhu Veda pranito dharmo hi adharmastad viparyaha Vedo Narayana Sakshat Swayambhuriti Shushrama. The Yamadutas replied, that which prescribed in the Vedas constitute of dharma. So what is dharma? What is prescribed in the Veda? Vedo Narayana Sakshat. What is spoken by Narayana is Veda. What is in Veda, that is dharma. So you don't need to think, oh, is this dharma or not dharma? You follow the Vedas. That is dharma. The religious principle and the opposite, and what is not in the Veda, that is adharma. So now Duryodhana is saying, what I say is dharma. Sorry, that's not dharma. Then the Vedas are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, are self-born. This we have heard from Yamaraj. So this is spoken by Yamadutas, the servants of Yamaraj. Yamaraj himself is the personification of Dharma, who is father of Yudhishthira, right? So then he tells to Shakuni, I know that we cannot kill them. Tell me a way we can kill them without fighting. I want everything from them. I want them penniless. I want everything, whatever I see, I want. Tell me a way we can destroy them fully and take their property. And Shakuni was thinking, okay, I'll tell you one way. Okay, we will do the gambling match. So by gambling, Yudhishthira, he likes to gamble, but he's not good in gambling. And Yudhishthira cannot deny us when we ask him, because you see, people accuse Yudhishthira why he gambled. But this is unfortunately in the Dwapara Yuga is allowed, especially for Kshatriyas. When somebody in a Kshatriya, right? If I call you for battle, you cannot deny me. If you deny me, then you are a coward. Similarly, when I call you for gambling, you cannot deny. You have to come. Okay. So Shakuni gives this beautiful plan. And this guy is smiling from here to here, one chink to another chink, as if he understood what is Brahman now. He became self-realized. Like when you teach the children a Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhagavatam, Upanishad, you get the Brahman realization about the Supreme Lord Krishna. How happy you will be, like that happy he was. Ah, thank you. I'm gonna let's do this. Then he said, okay, now tell my father, please. Okay, now Shakuni said, you go and tell your father. We have to only your father can call them to come. Then Arjuna said, Duryodhana said, I am trying to be a good guy, I'm a bad guy, but in front of people, I'm trying to be a good guy. You tell my father. Shakuni said, what you think he'll listen to me? He's not going to. You are his son. He's attached to you, right? Just like now we can see Arjuna was attached to his relative. Dhritarashtra was even more attached. He's attached to you. You go and cry in front of him. His heart will melt. Then he said, don't worry, I will come behind you. I'm there for you. You just start only. I will start from behind. So they went to see his father Dhritarashtra. Then Shakuni went and told Dhritarashtra, look at him, look at your son. See, he doesn't look, ever since the Rajasuya sacrifice, he's looking very upset. He's crying, you see. Then Dhritarashtra's heart was again soft. Oh, what happened to my son? Say, come. Say, my dear son, what's happening? Why are you sad? What lack I have given you? You are a king, right? You're ruling Hastinapur. All your brothers are listening to you. Nobody is disobeying your orders. Your wife is so beautiful. Oh, why are you upset? Duryodhana said, when I saw the Pandavas that day, my heart is burning. I want everything from them. And actually, you can see Dhritarashtra, even though he was very blind, yes, envious. He was blind to the they call it Putra Pasha. The affection of his son destroyed his life. That's the problem. Attachment to his son destroyed his life. So he was saying, no, but they actually belong, that is legally for them only. Actually, it belongs to Pandu, my brother. I'm not the king. Actually Pandu was the king. So they deserve the property. At least we have given half. So you know what Duryodhana said? Duryodhana said, you are the only guy in the world who divides property with the enemies. There's a rule. What you should divide and what you shouldn't divide. You should never divide anything with enemies. Enemies should be destroyed. So Duryodhana was saying, instead of destroying the enemies, you're giving them property. What kind of fool you are, no? Huh? So Dhritarashtra was still trying his best. Don't do it. And he was saying, no, I must do it. I must get it. Please do this gambling match. Please arrange the gambling match. Shakuni Mama has given a very nice suggestion. Then Dhritarashtra understood, that means both of them have talked already. They already planned. Then he said, okay. So what Dhritarashtra said? Okay, never mind. Let's call Vidura. We'll ask Vidura advice. Then he said, you nonsense. Everything Vidura. You think he's a Dharma personified or what? Of course, Vidura is Dharma personified. He's Yamaraj himself. He said, every time if he comes here, now your mind is so nice, so clear. So nicely you're listening to me. If he comes, he'll poison your mind and destroy the plan. So he thinks his plan is a good plan, no? So he said, no, let's call him, everything I consult him only. He said, no, if you want to call him, then both of you all better attend my funeral. My dead body will be there. You all can nicely clap and laugh. And then Dhritarashtra again do not. So actually he could have put his foot down and be detached. If he had spiritual knowledge, he will tell, my dear son, what you're doing is wrong. Enough. Go away. But he just couldn't do it. Then they called, so somehow Dhritarashtra said, okay, I will call Vidura, but I will not talk to him. I will order him to go and bring the Pandavas. And Vidura came. Then Dhritarashtra said, I order you, go to Indraprastha, bring the Pandavas for gambling match. Immediately Vidura said, are you sure? Is this what you want to do? This will destroy your entire dynasty. Don't do it. If you do this mistake, everything is finished. All your sons are finished. Then Dhritarashtra got angry. Why you always support the Pandavas? Always you're siding them. Have you ever once supported my son? Is it wrong that my son should not be a king and enjoy the property? Then Vidura, I know what he said. He said, I am not supporting your son, my dear brother. I am supporting your son. I mean, I'm not supporting Pandavas at all. All these years, you think I'm supporting them? No. I'm supporting your sons because they should not die. Because one nonsense you do, you will be finished. So you think that I'm giving you bad advice, but I'm actually giving you good advice to survive and live happily ever after with your family. So sometimes when you see the sadhu, this happens. We think the sadhu is always giving us something bad, but actually he's helping us. And who is giving us wrong advice? That guy we like, right? So Vidura said, I do not need to support the Pandavas at all. Not even 1 second I need to support them. They are supported by Dharma. They are supported by Krishna. You don't need to worry. I don't need to protect them. You think I'm protecting them? Nonsense. They are protected by the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's why the Lord is called Achyuta. Achyuta means one who never falls. Lord Krishna never falls. Obviously, he don't fall. He's Supreme Lord. What is the big deal? But the thing is, if you take shelter of his lotus feet, you don't fall. Right? That's why, I mean, the Ramanuja's, Yo nitya achyuta pada yukma rukma vyamohata staditarani trinaya mene asmat guru bhagavato shadaika sindhu Ramanujasya charanam sharanam prapatye. The pranam mantra for Ramanujacharya. Yo nitya achyuta pada. He's always engaged in the lotus feet service of Achyuta. For such devotee, they don't fall down. So Vidura said, okay, you want to do this? I'm telling you last time, don't do this. Said, no, go. Go and bring them. So what we can understand here, Dhritarashtra was so attached to his son that he cannot say no. And what happened? In the end, what happened? And who won the Mahabharata? Who was alive? All destroyed, right? So that's why as parents, we have to take note. If we just listen to what our child wants, and we don't correct them and discipline them, then the end result will be what? So we do be taking this example of Dhritarashtra. So we can see that how attachment is very dangerous. Attachment to something which is asat will cause you this problem of birth and death and old age disease. And attachment to Krishna is what liberates you. And if you see in the opposite side, the Pandavas, they are always attached to Krishna. Anything also, ask Krishna. So when Indraprastha was set up, Krishna half the time is not even in Dwarka. He had 16,108 wives. They don't even see him. Majority of the time they are with the Pandavas. In fact, when he set up the Indraprastha, they were going. It's written that Krishna says, I need to go and see my relative. I haven't seen my father for so long. I need to go and see them. And Yudhishthira said, okay, my lord, yes, you're right. You should go. Can I drive the chariot for you? Yudhishthira said, I'll drive for you. So king, Chakravarti, he said, okay, Krishna was sitting there. Yudhishthira is driving chariot. Bhima is holding umbrella. Arjuna is fanning Krishna. Nakula Sahadev is walking by the side. And like that, Krishna is going with them. Can you behold that sight? Yeah. Shri Prabhu always will send the divine darshan morning. Behold, divine darshan. Every morning. This is a beautiful sight to behold. You see, Krishna is there. Arjuna, Nakula Sahadev. Fanning Arjuna, umbrella. Such great devotees of the Lord. The malleable, snigdasu. The snigda means they are very malleable. You know what's the word malleable? Like plasticine. When you squeeze it, you can make any shape out of it, right? Plasticine, clay. So Pandavas are like the clay. Whatever the Lord planned, whatever he wanted, they will take I'll do whatever you want, my Lord. Doesn't matter. That is Pandavas. So while Krishna was going in the chariot like that, Krishna, after a few kilometers, Krishna said, why don't you all stop? Let me go. You are kings, you have duties to do. And Yudhishthira with tears in his eyes was saying, my Lord, when I can see you again? And Krishna says, don't worry. You just think about me. You just call my name, I'm there. So like that, the Lord was so much for Pandavas. Anything he would do for them. That much of love Pandavas had, and that much of love Krishna had for them. And this same Lord, this same Lord is he is actually, if you see in Krishna's life also, this is actually I cannot, of course I don't know the Tamil language, I cannot say, but the Alvars, right? Alvars, they wrote many poems, 4,000 verses, right? And they actually, if you look at the verses they are writing, they glorified Krishna the most among all the avatar. Even Rama also not much. You can say 95% is about Krishna's pastimes, especially the Balya Leela in Vrindavan. Why? Because, see, we are worshipping Krishna, right? Oh, you are the Supreme Lord, please help me, Krishna help me. Everything we are asking, please help me. But their mood is different. They are in a very parental mood. So they are actually making a comparison with Rama and Krishna. They say that what Rama suffered, just 10 months separation from Sita, 10 months away from Ravana, right? Rama, but Krishna, even the first day itself, he was separated from the place he was born. Is there any child who was born and taken out from that pregnancy room in the first day? All right. That Lord he left. Huh? So then, when you come to Vrindavan, how many problems he had faced? Maybe sometimes you feel hot, you go outside for getting fresh air. Krishna went to get fresh air. You know what was it? Trinavarta came. Krishna wanted to eat some fruits, hungry. Suddenly he went to the tall tree, Dhenukasura is there. He wanted to play with the calf. Vatsasura came. He wanted to play with saw one horse. Horse came as Keshi demon. Every day one demon coming. He is hungry, one milk, Putana is coming. So they say, oh, what this Lord? They're crying, oh, this Lord Krishna, so poor thing. We need to protect him. Do we think like that? Huh? So like that they are comparing. And Rama, right? He has 3 brothers who are as powerful as an entire Akshavani. 3: Bharata, Shatrugna, Lakshmana. They are equivalent to one big army. And Krishna's brother, when the army was there, he left a pilgrimage. Huh? He left him by, I'm going to pilgrimage, you do your problem, you do yours. Huh? And then Dasarath, Rama's father, oh, such a great warrior, he's fighting for the Devatas, He can fight for Devatas also. He's fighting the Asuras. Not a normal, very powerful. And here, this one father is in jail. Another father is so innocent. Cowherd man. Right? So like that, they are comparing how Krishna is so poor thing. And that Krishna, anything also Pandavas call, please come, please help us. Yeah. So obviously Krishna is not like that. It's a devotion of the devotee that he sees the Lord like that. So many of their songs is actually glorifying the Lord in his childhood. Thinking the Lord requires, same like Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda also is, Krishna is Supreme Lord. When Krishna is, when he killed Putana, they are singing, what's that? Sasti Vacha, is it? They're singing some Kavacha mantras. Krishna, please, Vishnu, protect this child, please. He's the protector of the entire universe. Janardana, right? He protects the entire universe. And here the gopis, they are praying, please, please protect this, my child. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, when he was dancing, he was dancing so wildly, he will smash his body on the floor. The bones will come out also. But of course, he's transcendental. Again, he'll go back in. He's not going to be handicapped by doing that. So the Lord, so much ecstasy, his limbs will come out. He'll faint. So Sachi Devi, Sachi Mata, seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu falling down like that, she's praying, oh my Lord, if I have all my punya, please take this punya and give to my son Nimai. That when he dances and he falls down, he's not injured. So you see the different mood of the devotees here, right? So similarly, in the story of the Pandavas, they were always with the Lord. They always took guidance from the Lord. They were attached to the Lord. Whereas Dhritarashtra, being attached to his son, caused the destruction of the entire dynasty. This is the big difference. So now back to the verses. We'll see a few verses. Why this misidentification happens? Why we are thinking that we are this body? Why we are thinking that death is fearful? Because of, back to the point, because of misidentification, right? So you see here, Yata Jale Chandramashaha Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan. Kamabdis Kampadis Tatkrito Gunaha Drishyate Snan Api Drashtur Atmano Natmano Gunaha. So here you can see these words. As the moon is reflected on the water, appears to the seer to tremble due to being associated with the quality of water. So the self associated with matter appears to have the qualities of matter. What is the meaning? Now, when we see the moon in the sky, right? Is the moon moving? The moon is still. Moon never shakes. But so that moon is actually compared to Krishna, the Supreme Purusha, the Supreme Lord. We are actually the reflection. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. So like sun and sunlight. Sunlight is non-different from sun, but sunlight is not the sun also. It is having the quality of sun, but it is not the entire sun itself. So we are like the rays of the moon. So Krishna is like the moon. So now when the rays of the moon come and touch the earth, right? Let's say it gets reflected on the river, the water. That reflection, sometimes when the water is trembling, let's say somebody throws a big stone in the water trembles, the reflection trembles. Correct? So now you think, why? So the moon never shakes, correct? But the reflection being associated with water shakes. So when you as Jivatma associate with Maya, you also shake. The word used is quivering. So always shaking, not stable, not equipoise. Anything in life shakes us because you are thinking you are the reflection. Correct? So what you can understand here is association is important. What you're going to associate with. So we see the next verse. But that misconception of self-identity can be diminished gradually by the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, through the process of devotional service to the Lord in the mode of detachment. So how to actually not think that I'm the reflection? How to know that I'm actually the ray of the moon? I have no reflection. I have no existence in the water. It's fake. This reflection is not true. How to know this? Number one, you need the mercy of the Lord. You need the mercy of Krishna. And of course, the Bhagavad Gita is his mercy. Right? Gita Sastram idam punyam japate priyata puman Vishnur padamavapnoti bhaya shokadi varjitaha. This Gita Shastram is so punya. Right? Yapate priyata puman. Whoever studies this seriously, Vishnur padamavapnoti, attains the lotus feet of Vishnu. Bhaya shokadi, all this fear and lamentation will go. So Krishna's mercy is manifested as the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's mercy is manifested as the deity. Krishna's mercy is manifested as the Guru, as the holy place, as the holy rivers, Ganga. What is Ganga? Gita su Gita kartavya kim manne sastra vistare ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padma vinirshita. That's like Ganga is from the lotus feet of Krishna, Vamana avatar, right? He's piercing the universal layer and the water is coming. And also Brahma is pouring the Kamandalu water. That Ganga can free you from the cycle of birth and death. Right? And what about the Ganga coming, Gita Sugita Kartavya, coming from Krishna's mouth? If the water Ganga can purify you, what about the Ganga flowing from his mouth? How if the Ganga goes into your ears and cleanses your heart and destroys all the sin? Understand how powerful this hearing. So hearing is so important. We have to hear seriously. Then we will get the mercy of the Lord. And then we engage in the process of devotional service in the mode of detachment. We have to be detached from this matter. Come and engage in service, engage in the hearing, engage in the service in the temple, engage in the chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. All this will help us to come out of this misidentification. And then what happens? Then when the senses are satisfied in the seer, super soul personality, and merges in him, all miseries are completely vanquished. So when you understand you're part and parcel of Krishna, you're not this material body, then the fear of death will not come. So this is what happens. The transformation happens to Arjuna. In the beginning, he's afraid to fight. And then that Arjuna, he says to Krishna, I will fight. Because he understands he's not the body anymore. Right? And this is the solution. So we saw what is the problem we are facing. What are the enemies we are having? The enemies is what? The enemies is sense gratification. Why the misidentification happens? Because you are thinking, I am this body, I am the senses, I must satisfy my senses. And then you go on satisfying your senses one after another, and then you keep taking birth again. So you have to detach from sense gratification, sense enjoyment, and engage the senses in the service of enjoying with Krishna. That's all you have to do. Just transform. You want to enjoy with yourself, your own tongue. Let's say you're eating food, right? You buy food and eat. That is going to cause sin. But the same food you cook and offer to Krishna and eat, just putting Krishna in the center purifies the senses. Then the detachment comes. Then the misidentification of thinking I'm the reflection in the water is gone. So how to do that is simply by chanting and hearing of the transcendental name form of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. One can achieve the cessation of unlimited miserable condition. Unlimited miserable condition is finished. Therefore, what to speak of those who have attained attraction for serving the flavor of the dust of the lotus feet, God's lotus feet. If chanting itself can bring you so much of happiness and joy and destroys all the sin, then what about those people who are serving the lotus feet of the Lord, like the Pandavas? So this is the point we have to understand. All it takes is a transformation of association. Instead of associating with matter, with sense gratification, associate with Krishna, associate with devotees. Then your heart will transform. Right? So what is happening in the Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata? We can see Dhritarashtra, not so bad guy, associated with the envious son, Duryodhana. What happened? And Pandavas associated with Krishna. What happened? Right? In the Mahabharata, there's a sloka. I'll read one sloka. I can't take it on the screen because it's not here. So it says that Suyodhana Manyumayo. Duryodhana's another name is Suyodhana. Duryodhana means one is very fearful, right? Fearful in battlefield. Duryodhana means very good warrior. Actually, he's not a good warrior at all. So, Suyodhana Manyumayo. Manyu means anger. Manyumayo means he is the form of anger. Actually, not only he is a form of anger. If you see this sloka, he is a form of offense. Vidura is talking to Saesha dosha purusha dvit ashte grihan pravishto yam apatyamatya pushnasi krishna vimukto gatasris tvajasva asaivam kulasya. So you see here, Vidura is talking to Dhritarashtra. He says, you are maintaining offense personified. Not only he is Manyumaya, he is also offense personified. Because why? Duryodhana as your infallible son. But he is envious of Krishna. Because he is envious of Krishna, he became so offensive. Such a person, like a snake, Dhritarashtra was keeping. And because of you're thus maintaining a non-devotee of Krishna, you're devoid of all auspicious qualities. All auspiciousness gone. Relieve yourself of this ill fortune as soon as possible and do good to the whole family. You see how strongly Vidura is speaking. But Dhritarashtra was so blinded with this so-called love. It's not love. In the end, it led to destruction. So here we will see, again, back to the verse, Suyodhana, Manyumaya, he is actually the form of anger. Mahadruma Skanda Karna. So imagine a big tree. This whole tree is Duryodhana. Mahadruma, big tree. The Skanda, the trunk, the trunk of the tree is what holds the tree, right? That is Karna. So Duryodhana, when he was doing whatever he was doing, was based on the strength of Karna only. If Karna was not there, he wouldn't have dared to do whatever he might think in his head only, but he can't do it. Somebody is very powerful. In fact, it's hard to say whether he's better or Arjuna is better also. That's how powerful Karna is. And then Shakuni is tasya shakaha. The branches is Shakuni, branch of this tree. Dushashana pushpa phale. The tree has flowers and fruits, right? That is Dushashan. The Dushashan is the fruitification of this. And then Samrade Moolam Raja Dhritarashtra Mani. See, the root of the tree is Dhritarashtra. So you have such a tree, what is the end result? A tree which is the root is Dhritarashtra, which is enviousness, which is offense personified Duryodhana, which is anger, which is Dushashan who tries to disrobe a woman, lust, anger, greed, all these things, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsarya, everything is in this tree. So you can think, either do you want to maintain such a tree? Do you want to plant such a seed and grow until like this? Right? Don't let this tree grow in your heart. Now the next tree, Yudhishthiro Dharmamayo. Yudhishthira is the personification of Dharma. Mahadruma Skando Arjuna. And of this big tree, the trunk is Arjuna. Bhima Senoya Shakaha. The trunk of the tree is Bhima. Okay? Madhiri Putrao Pushpa Phale. Nakula and Sahadev is the flowers, the fruits. And how great devotees were they? I'll give you a story. In the Rajashriya sacrifice, what happens? Right, we all know the story. What is his name? Shishupal. Shishupal gets very envious that Krishna is given the first Agra Puja. So while the sacrifice is going on, there will be one person appointed as the beneficiary, right? As the chief. So everybody decided that Krishna is the one. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, obviously, he is Yagyarna Artha Karmano Anyatra Lokoyam Karma Bandhana. The purpose of doing a yagya, the purpose of our sacrifice is to please Krishna. So many people, Bhishma Dev, a lot of people understood this. But Shishupal, cousin of Krishna, was so angry. He said, how dare you put this cowherd boy, this guy there, lusty guy, he stole my wife from me. He was supposed to marry Rukmini. And then he went on criticizing, offending one after another. Krishna said, 100 times I will forgive you. Going on and on. You are sad. Huh? So the Alvar was saying, they were saying that Krishna, Rama, who will criticize him? Who criticized Rama? The whole citizen Ayodhya is standing up for Rama. Rama is going, everybody is going. Here one guy, Krishna, is getting criticized by Shishupal like anything. So many people are watching. But Krishna is patiently smiling. You see how Krishna is so merciful. So he is going on and on and on. Actually, this happens in Tamil Nadu. A lot of rascals are there. They'll big sabha. They'll start criticizing Rama. Oh, Krishna is a dog. I saw on YouTube. Openly they are saying, now recently they say Sanatan Dharma should be destroyed like dengue, mosquito. They want to destroy Sanatan Dharma. Oh, Duryodhana tried, what happened to him? You try. You're in the land of Krishna and Rama and you want to tell you want to destroy. You try. You see who get destroyed in the end. So like that, these people are descendants of Shishupal. These guys in Tamil Nadu. These Dravida guys. So they will get it one day. Krishna only give you the tongue. He also know how to take it away. When the time comes, like now Shishupal talking so much, one chakra just came. So then Krishna was just hearing. Finally, Bhishma Dev spoke out. Bhishma Dev said, how dare you? Bhishma Dev spoke very nicely, very favorably, very positively. This is called positive preaching. Bhishma Dev started to say, you do not know who is Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Bhishma Dev took the time to explain the whole Krishna Leela, from his birth, what he did, who he killed, one by one. And everybody was so happy hearing Krishna Leela. Oh, Krishna is so great. This person is definitely a Supreme Lord himself. After Bhishma finished, Sahadev, we read, right? Sahadev and Akula, they are the fruit of the tree. Sahadev immediately stood up and said, who dares to challenge Krishna to be put into that, I mean, to do the Agra Puja, come and stand here. I'll put my left leg on your head. I'll kick you. I'll give you one nice kick. Everybody, you know what happened? From heavenly planets, the demigods were showering garlands, flowers. The question is, why they never showered Bhishma? Bhishma also talked nicely about Krishna, right? Why? So, if there's two things: negative preaching, positive preaching. Seems like the negative preaching was more glorified now. So, when people are challenging Sanatan Dharma, when people are challenging, you go, oh yeah, Sanatan Dharma is very forgiving. Don't worry, it's okay, we forgive you. That is not so much appreciated as much as a person say, I will fight for Dharma. Shut up, you are a rascal. Prabhupada did that. He pointed out all the rascals. So many people claiming to be fake gurus, fake gods. He pointed out, we will do the same. So this is the fruit of the tree. Madhuri putra pushpa phale samridhet tvaham brahmacha brahmanascha. So the root of the tree is the supreme Brahman, Krishna, and Brahmanas. Why Brahmanas? Because you must please the Brahmanas. I'm not talking about the born Brahmanas. Brahmana means one who dedicated his life to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who understands the meaning of the Vedas, the purport of the Vedas. Such a person, like Srila Prabhupada. If you please them, then Krishna is pleased. If you there's one verse. Okay. Namo Brahmanyaya Devaya Ramaya Kuntamedase Uttama Shloka Duryaya Nyasta Dhandar Pitangrahe. Oh Lord. So this is a verse glorifying Rama. You are the Supreme Personality Godhead who have accepted the Brahmanas as your worshipable deity. Your knowledge and memories are never disturbed by anxiety. You are the chief of all famous persons within this world, and your lotus feet are worshipped by sages who are beyond the jurisdiction of punishment. O Lord Ramachandra, let us offer our respectful obeisance unto you. Even Lord Rama was so favorably serving the Brahmanas. So now we see the Pandava tree. The Brahmana is also represented by Guru. So Guru and Krishna, this is the root. If we water that root, then our tree will grow. Our tree will grow to Vaikuntha, will come out of this cycle of birth and death. So this is where our attachment should be imposed onto. So in summary, to come out of this misidentification, let's take shelter of the Lord. Let's take shelter of the pure devotees. Chant the holy name. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Every day read. Spend your time to read this knowledge. Then you see your life will 100% improve. Whatever bad things happen in your life, whatever change happen in your life, whatever fearful thing happen in your life will not shake you. This is the summary of the class today. So I'll end here. Is there any questions or comments? Okay. So there is nothing else. We'll stop here. So we'll have last Arati, followed by Prashadam in the fifth floor. Please keep coming weekly. At least Sunday, come and join our and stream.